Hello, parents and athletes. This is Coach Dappolite. I am one of the head coaches of the varsity spring track and field program at Byram Hills High School. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about our spring track and field program and the upcoming season, which begins on Monday, April 19th. In this short video presentation, you will learn the basics of our program, athlete expectations and team policies, and what our practices and meets will look like. Hopefully this video will provide some clarity to many of the questions you may have been asking yourselves these last few weeks. And if you have any lingering questions at the conclusion of this video, feel free to reach out to me or my colleague, Coach Brian Horn. We prefer email, but I will also include my cell phone number on the screen, which is meant for parent use only. Athletes who wish to contact us should send the coaches an email or a message on SportsU. First off, we know this will once again be a different spring season compared to our last official spring season, which was almost 2 years ago. Due to various COVID restrictions and guidelines that we have in place. Our athletes can still expect to have fun as they compete and participate in what we think will be a very worthwhile and competitive season. Some quick background on me. I've been with the Byram Hills cross country and track and field program now for 7 seasons. I previously coached cross country and track at Rye High School, which is where I also attended in my youth. When I was in high school, I ran cross country and track at Rye from 7th grade up through my senior year, and I competed primarily as a middle distance and a distance runner. Coaching alongside me as a head coach is Coach Brian Horn. Many of you know Coach Horn already. He has led the modified track and cross country programs for over 10 years and was the varsity field events coach in 2017. He was also with us as a head coach this past winter. Coach Horn is easily accessible as he works in the building and is an English teacher. Returning again as our assistant coaches this winter season is Coach Rob Beaton and Coach Madison Brand. You may know Coach Beaton from elementary school physical education class or previous cross-country and track seasons. Coach Beaton coached in the past at Scarsdale and also Byram Hills and ran cross-country and track at White Plains High School. He competed at the collegiate level as a middle distance runner at the University of Rhode Island. Coach Brand, also one of our winter track coaches, joined us briefly last year for spring track before we were all sent home for quarantine. She was a very competitive 400-meter hurdler for Valhalla High School, where she qualified for the state championships before moving on to compete at Southern New Hampshire University as a cross-country, middle distance, and distance runner, focusing on the steeplechase. Coach Brand is also a certified personal trainer. Program philosophy. As an athlete, I was lucky enough to come out of a great program at Rye High, which for me serves as the basis for my coaching philosophy here at Byram Hills. I'd like to show this short clip from one of my former coaches, which explains, I believe, most succinctly what a high school track and field program is all about.
One of the unique things about track, again, is compared to most sports, if you run better than you've ever before, if you jump higher or throw farther, and you get a personal best, that's significant to a kid. You could be dead last in a race, but if you run 10 seconds faster than you ever have before, you got to feel good about that. And that's what basically motivates and builds programs.
Track is a sport for everyone. There are no tryouts, there are no cuts. Workouts are adjusted to each athlete's background and ability level and will change as the season progresses. We have athletes on our team who have been running since middle school and are highly competitive in our county, state, and even nationally. We also have newcomers at every grade level, simply striving for personal bests or just using our practices to get in shape for a different sport. We welcome everyone. While track is a team sport, we work with each athlete on setting individual goals and striving to achieve them. Athlete expectations. All athletes will be receiving a packet called Byram Hills Track and Field Athlete Expectations. A digital version of this packet will be emailed to athletes and parents and posted to SportsU. I am not going to go through all of it now, but I do want to highlight a few items. First, as a member of the team, we expect you to be at practice and on time. Practice begins at 2:45 p.m., and we will be meeting on the track most days. Practice will last about an hour and a half to 2 hours, give or take. We will have the occasional Saturday practice when we are not competing. We allow 3 unexcused absences, however, you will lose participation in 1 meet. If you accumulate 6 unexcused absences, you will be dismissed from the team. Excused absences, so absences that are not included in those 6, are for SAT and ACT testing or extra help with your schoolwork, injury, illness, quarantine related to COVID-19 exposure, or family emergency. You are not penalized for those reasons at all. I want to highlight one other section of this packet, and that's the section that says be coachable and take on challenges. So we have a training plan for all of you. It's our recipe for success. But success will not come without hard work and taking on new challenges. We may ask you to try a field event or race a distance that you've never done before. You will not always be entered into the events that you want to be entered in any given meet, although we try to give you what you enjoy as much as possible. This concept is not unique to track. As our football players know, you can't just walk onto the field and say to Coach Carp, in today's game I want to be the quarterback. Trust the coaches and trust the process. Strive to complete all workouts to the best of your ability without complaints. We will sometimes ask you for input or feedback, and our office doors are always open, but at the end of the day, the coaches will make the final call in determining your events. As I mentioned earlier, this is expected to be a different season from what we had historically prior to COVID-19. There are protocols and procedures in place that we have to adhere to, designed to keep the athletes and staff as safe as possible. Athletes must have their temperature taken by staff prior to practices and meets. Athletes are expected to wear masks during practice and meets, with the exception of socially distant mask breaks, which are going to be done outdoors only. We ask that you bring extra masks to practice, observe social distancing during practice and in team meetings, and there's limited access to locker rooms, so you should arrive at practice ready to go. Athletes in the cohort must change in bathrooms on campus. Those not in the cohort should arrive to school ready to go. No sharing water bottles. You must bring a bottle for yourself. No handshakes, hugging, high fives. Snacks must be provided on an individual level. No team snacks, no team lunches on campus. Changes to meets. Many of our meets will be weekday dual meets, competitions between two schools in our league. We have 2 dual meets at home. We have 3 dual meets away at other schools. We will also have a league championship consisting of all 4 schools in our league. Joining us in this competition will be Byram Hills, Yorktown, Eastchester, and Brewster. Additionally, we will have a few invitationals, which involves more schools but a little bit lengthier time schedule to spread out events. These invitationals are a much smaller scale than what we've seen in years past, with small pods of schools competing at once. The final results are then merged at the end of the meet. There are limited event entries in all meets in order to help move the meet along and give more student athletes an opportunity to safely compete. And of course, masks must be worn at all times during the competitions. Advocate for yourselves. We ask our athletes to advocate for themselves. Communication is key. The coaches are very approachable. You can speak to us before or after practice or via email or SportsU message. It is very important for the athletes to speak directly to the coaches regarding any issues with teammates, appointments, school, or extracurricular conflicts, practices, meets, illnesses, injuries, etc. We have an excellent athletic trainer, Dan Santora, who works with each of the teams. Dan is a great resource for the kids if they do have an injury, and we work very closely with him. And finally, we ask that you speak to a coach prior to speaking to the athletic director. SportsU. Many of you have used SportsU before. A lot of the teams here at Byram use it. SportsU is an app that is used for communication purposes between the coaches and the team and parents. We regularly post updates on SportsU with information regarding practices, meets, as well as some fun stuff like photos and videos. It's an easy-to-use app. You could download it on your phone. You can also access it through a computer if you go to sportsu.com. Our team has a code which I will put here on the screen. Once you download the app, you have to sign up for our team using the access code. Again, this is our main form of communication. We do not send out email updates. We do send out email updates from time to time, but it's rather infrequent. This is the most immediate way to get out information quickly. If you have any technical questions regarding the app, please feel free to reach out and I can help you out with that. I just want to end by emphasizing that our main goal this season is to have fun and provide opportunities for our athletes to train, race, and compete while improving their fitness and perhaps prepare for their next season of sports. All the coaches are really excited to get started, so on behalf of Coach Horn, Coach Beaton, and Coach Brand, we just want to thank you for listening. And if you have any lingering questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me or Coach Horn. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing everyone on Monday, April 19th.